So with me today is Mike from the fantastic band Embrace, who are about to release their 8th studio album on the 26th of August. Mike, what can fans expect from the new album coming out?
Well, if you like Embrace, you'll like it. So it's yeah, I think it's classic Embrace. I've done quite a few interviews, and quite a few times it's kind of made me think about the first album we did, because it's kind of quite diverse, really. We've got some really lovely piano vocal. There's a piano vocal in Can Remember Me. Then you've got a full on kind of anthemic title track for the album. And We Are It, the single that's out now, is kind of it's just a great full on uplifting pop song, if you like. So it covers loads of different areas. And the reviews so far have said the same. Yeah, it's if you love the sound of Embrace, you'll absolutely love the album. We hope. It's just we're just very proud of it. We spent a lot of time during lockdown in our own little studios, writing and sending ideas backwards and forwards. So by the time we got in the studio to record the album, we were all really fired up about it, and we recorded it. It's probably the fastest recording we've ever done of an album. We were in and out and got the main parts down within 2 weeks, and then obviously added all the overdubs and stuff like that. But yeah, just a quick record for us.
Yeah, the title of the album is How to Be a Person Like Other People. What are the influences behind that title?
It's kind of the whole story is about, as the title suggests, it's when you're. I think Danny found it from a line in the film The Joker, and it was kind of learning how to be someone, basically, by looking at all your influences and looking at everyone else. Danny's always said he felt kind of a bit sort of detached from the world, if you like. And since he got married and had his kids, he's kind of realised, what's important, and to focus on the core things in life. And as the title suggests, just learning what everyone else does, rather than being just in this sort of bubble. But I think it applies to everyone. Sometimes you just sit there and you look back, and you have to learn. You have to learn sometimes the right way to be a person, basically.
Yeah, you spoke about Danny having a change in his life. I think the writing process and the themes of this album are quite different for Embrace. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too much back into the lyrics, because he wrote the lyrics, but in terms of the writing process, as I said earlier, touched on, it was a very quick process. The lyrics probably cover a wider array of subjects than some of our other records. There's been very much an emphasis on kind of, starting with the Goodwill Out, looking at a situation, maybe it being bad, and hopefully in the end it'll be okay. Is a very rough idea of looking at things in relationships and everything. But this album, covers a lot of different areas, some darker topics that no doubt he'll delve into in interviews. Lyrics aren't my forte, obviously. But yeah, it comes from it draws from a lot of different influences. I think we've all been listening to, particularly over lockdown again, we've all been listening to a lot more music, because we had a lot more time to listen to music and to different bands and new bands. And I think that all those influences have kind of rubbed off on us all to create an album that's got a good breadth of sound in there.
So lockdown was kind of a bit of a blessing for you guys then.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't brilliant, and it's still having a massive knock-on effect on a lot of things. But you've got to take the positive out of these things. You could look at it and say it was a terrible time, and it wasn't great, but it did allow us to focus on certain things and make ourselves probably better songwriters, and create maybe a better album than if it had never happened.
Can you tell us about the album cover? It's very striking. Can you tell us the meaning behind that?
Yeah, well, again, when we years ago we did a cover for one of our singles called "Looking as You Are," where we got loads of fans to go into different record stores at the time and take photos and make a massive collage of them all. So when Rick had this idea of having pictures on the front cover, maybe 4 or 5 pictures that were things that were fundamental in the band members growing up. You know, it might be a school uniform or a place used to hang out or whatever. And then that sort of developed, and we all started taking photos of everything, you know, looking around my studio, my house, and all the rest of the guys going, oh, wow, that was part of my upbringing. That was part of it. Loads of photos started to come up. And then I kind of said, well, why don't we ask the fans again? See if they can sort of send photos in of what's made them. And lo and behold, 4,000 photos later, we had all these pictures and images, and we wondered what to do. So we created, in a photographic studio, we created a room, had some of them printed in a bigger size and some smaller. The bigger ones went on the walls, 3 walls, and then we all spent the whole day with these tiny little 3-centimeter photos, thousands of them, sticking them all over the dummy that you see on the artwork. So that's all done by us on a real dummy. It took us ages to do, but I think, and I think we all think, it's probably one of the most striking covers we've ever done, and we're massively proud of it. And because it's also got, you know, it's got our fans on there as well, and we certainly wouldn't be here all these years later if it hadn't been for those guys and girls that have supported us, you know, over the years.
We've seen on social media recently that you guys are in rehearsals for your upcoming tour. What's your approach to rehearsals, and how are they going for you?
Really good. Yeah, I mean, we were in all day yesterday because we've got Bingley Festival this Friday, which is a big one for us, a big local one. It's grown and grown over the years, and you know, the difficult part is picking the songs to play, because obviously we've got a massive back catalogue. If you include all the B-sides and albums, there's hundreds of songs. So picking the ones that people want to hear is difficult. So we've been through that process. We've got a core of songs. Obviously, we've got songs from the new album that we really want to play. We're aware that, yeah, fans don't always want to hear all the new material, but they're going to hear it anyway. But no, we're going to throw a smattering of the new tracks in there, and just learning them has been interesting, because, as I say, we recorded the album so quickly that we didn't really play it, if you like. You know, we went in and went, oh, this is the song idea. Does this work? Does that work? Yeah, it sounds fantastic. Let's record it. To the point where on We Are It, actually, you know, Rick was saying the other day, he didn't even get a chance to finesse the drum sound properly, because it was just in there banging down what would be demos that we went, yeah, these sound great, and they became the songs. So then we've had to learn the songs again, because obviously we recorded it last year, finished it at the beginning of this year. So we've had to go back and actually learn the songs again, which is interesting, but great as well, because they all feel really organic and good to play live.
You're coming to Cardiff Tramshed on the 6th of September, first time since 2018, I believe. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah. I mean, we've always had great gigs. In Cardiff, we've played loads and loads of times, the last time we played down there, which would have been probably the Goodwill Out anniversary tour, I imagine. I think, I can't. In honesty, I can't think of a bad place, across the whole of the UK that we've played, because we're just lucky to have these amazing fans. So we come and turn up at the gigs, and generally the feedback we get is so good that it just it builds atmosphere on stage, and you know, we walk off stage wishing we could spend another hour on there.
Yeah, how do you find the Welsh crowd compared to other parts of the country or the world?
That's an interesting one. I think I would have to say, being diplomatic, that I can't really separate them. That the crowds around the country, they all have elements. I mean, we've got some great fans down in Wales. A few that have been there right from the beginning, that followed us, came to when we won Best Live Band in Wales, the Pop Awards, I think it was, years and years ago. The Frelfords are big fans of us. The family, they were down there. So we've got really strong connections. So, you know, we know the audiences are going to be great, and it's really down to us to deliver. So hopefully they enjoy it as much as they can.
You've mentioned you played Cardiff quite a few times now. Have you got any favourite memories, ones to stick out?
We've done the university a few times, I think. The Tramshed actually was a great one last time. I can visualize a venue because a lot of the times, and a lot of bands will say this, it's hard to remember where you've been because you're in a bus, you turn up, you go do the sound check, and you don't see much of the city. I have to say it's possibly been raining most of the time when we've been there. I don't know if that's a common thing.
Yeah, in Wales it is very common.
But yeah, I mean, no particularly highlights or lowlights, thank God, from any of the Welsh shows. But yeah, just all good fun.
Yes, we've been speaking about the set list. Who decides the set list for this tour, and what can fans expect?
That's an interesting conversation because we had a debate, I think that's the word, between the band the other day when we were talking about what to go on there because, you know, there were a few of us saying, oh, let's play something a bit more left field, something we haven't played for ages. And then, you know, you've got Danny saying, yeah, but a lot of the fans don't want to hear that. They want to hear, you know, the bangers. They want to hear the tunes that they know. So we do it between ourselves, basically. But it is a difficult thing because what we might want to play, the fans might not want to hear. It's a tricky one. You know, I was looking at sort of songs like Exploding Machines and things like that for this New Day album, and you know, and Danny's saying, yeah, but is anyone going to remember those tunes? It's like, yeah, I think we should credit people with a bit more musical intelligence.
I saw that you did a Facebook post asking fans what songs they would like. Has there been any one particular song that's more popular than others? And will you play any of the suggestions?
Yeah, we certainly will. It's very varied. I mean, you'll always get, the interesting thing is you'll always get the sort of diehard fans who want some obscure B-side that we haven't played for 15 years or whatever. So you always get those, and you've got to wheedle out the ones that we think the majority of people will like. Because, you know, it wouldn't be fair to take a bunch of songs that we just know that like a small handful of people will like. So it's great to hear what everyone wants to hear. The obvious ones always come up, the big songs. But yeah, there's been a few interesting suggestions. So we're just trying to work out at the moment exactly what we can and can't do.
Is there one particular song that you have in mind that is your favourite to play live?
Actually, the one I mentioned earlier, Exploding Machines, we only played it on one tour, and I loved it, but I love that song more than a lot of the other members of the band. So, you know, and it's a question of fighting your corner. So we'll see what happens there.
You've got the lottery winners supporting you on this tour. I'm a big fan of the lottery winners as well as Embrace. Are you looking forward to touring with them?
Yeah, definitely. They're a great band. We've always been lucky enough to pick all our own support bands, and Rick, our guitarist, and his girlfriend have got a band called Eva, and they went out and supported the lottery winners whenever it was, early this year or last year, and his feedback that was they were great. So I checked them out, and yeah, I love them. I can't wait. I haven't seen them live yet, so I can't wait to see them on the first day of the tour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited about seeing them as well.
Yeah, that'd be
as
great.
well as Embrace, obviously. That was the main attraction. But yeah, I think the lottery winners, they'll be a really good support band, won't they, for you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Embrace are on Patreon, I believe. If fans were to sign up and subscribe to Patreon, what would they expect to get?
Well, the idea behind that was because for years we'd done these secret gigs and secret festivals and, you know, things that were a bit different for the real diehard fans, and we loved doing them. They were a lot of work, but they were a lot of fun as well. And we saw when we went into lockdown, we noticed that a few American bands were doing this Patreon thing, and we had a chat about it, and we realised that we had so much content between us. You know, I've always taken photographs of the band over the whole career, and I had hundreds and hundreds of photos backstage, you know, behind the scenes, if you like. Mickey Dale had loads of video footage. We had loads of songs and song ideas that were never completed, and we thought, well, let's put them out there. You know, let's use them and let the fans, you know, during this period when we can't do anything, see something of the history of Embrace and see, you know, behind the curtain. So we set it up, and then we've gradually been adding more and more. we've done tutorials. So I've done some in my studio here with how to play the drums on various tracks, and Rick's done on guitar and vocals. Danny's done like a lyric class. So we don't charge much for it because we know everyone's short of cash at the moment. But it's just a great thing to do, to get out all this stuff that's just been sitting in boxes in our rooms, really, or in hard drives for years and years. And some of the stuff we've dug out, and we've kind of we've listened back to it and thought, why didn't we ever use that on an album? And in fact, one of the tracks on the album, the first song, "Death Is Not the End," was recorded and never finished for the Tallies album, and we just never got around to finishing it. And that came up, and we went, "This is amazing," and we finished it, and it's the opening track.
Yeah, lasting from us now. Obviously, the album's out on the 26th, and you're touring next month, September. Where can people buy the album and buy their tickets?
Go on our website, embrace.co.uk, and there are all links there to the store. There's some great things in there, great bundles. The vinyl bundles are because the artwork needs to be seen really in the bigger format. And we've got like splatter vinyl, and some great bundles on there, and obviously on the usual Spotify, all the other streaming services. It'll be on everything there when it comes out. So yeah, if you just search or go to our Facebook page, there's loads of information there as well.
Mike Heaton, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
No problem at all. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you all down in Cardiff in a few weeks' time. Hopefully, we'll have a full house and everyone will have a great night.